Hello, fellow refiners. Tony here from Refinement, Not Retirement, the podcast where we say refine, don't retire. First of all, apologies for our absence since the last episode that we did, which was on the post office Horizon scandal, which really got under our skins, as you could probably tell if you listened to that episode. Since then, we have just not been able to get together for long enough to be able to actually put together another episode. So uh, we're beginning to sort ourselves out. We want to do an episode which looks at, now that we've been not working for just over a year, we wanted to sort of do a review with each other of how we both felt about that. So soon as we can both get together, we'll be doing an episode about that subject. But something that I've been talking about since we started this podcast about a year ago, one of the life refinements that's been sort of very significant for me, and you'll think it odd when I tell you what it is, uh, has been my Japanese toilet. And I've mentioned that I would be doing something on an episode on that, or we would be, and I just haven't had a chance to do that. But I thought that since my wife Christine is not available just at the moment, this would be a good opportunity to fill in the void between episodes and tell you about that. And I know it's a bit of an odd topic, and you'll think that I'm even weirder than you already probably think that I am. But it's just something that has been a huge refinement in my life. And I just feel I want to share it, because had I not had this one experience of finding out about um, how great Japanese toilets are, that would have been a sad omission. So don't want anybody else who might feel similarly inclined when I tell you about this, to miss out, because it can really be a big improvement. It was a huge improvement for my life. So how did this all begin? Well, Christine and I decided a year or so ago uh, that we wanted to go and see, that ABBA show. ABBA Voyage. Do you pronounce it the French way, Voyage, or is it ABBA Voyage? I don't know which is the correct way. But the one where you don't see the actual ABBA people, you see avatars, which all sounded slightly odd, but that was a great experience. Little bit strange, clapping robots. They're not robots, but it is as though anyone who's been to see it will know that it's like going to a live show, really. And the way that they do it, they've built a special venue for it, and the way that they do it is just really impressive, and they really look after you. We had these sort of special seats in I think it's sort of a box or area where you have your own bar, and you always have like a sort of quasi butler type service. They bring the drinks to you, and it's fantastic. And as I say, there's a little dance floor for your section, and it was the whole thing was a really special experience. But we also decided to treat ourselves to 2 nights in the Shangri-La Hotel, which is a very upmarket hotel in the Shard building. And we got a suite, which we certainly normally wouldn't splash out to that degree at all. We wouldn't even stay in a hotel that expensive, and we certainly wouldn't get a suite. I mean, this was a really opulent suite, and it was the proper rate for it was about £1,500 a night, which is, I think, ludicrous to spend on a hotel, on a night stay in a hotel. But we had, as a result of some years of business travel, we had a lot of British Airways points to use up on our American Express card. And regular listeners will probably know that I don't like British Airways, and I really want to avoid ever traveling on them again, since they made it so difficult for us to get about £6,000 back from them when they cancelled our flight to America as a result of COVID, and they were supposed to refund within 7 days, and it took best part of a year to get it back, and a lot of fighting. And I just decided I didn't want to give them any more money. So since we weren't going to fly BA anymore, we thought we should do something with our points if we could, and we found that we could convert them for this stay. So we used up all our points for this 2 nights stay at the Shangri-La Hotel, and we had a great suite, and it was right overlooking the Tower of London. It had a wonderful London city centre view, as it were. And but when I went into the bathroom, huge, great bathroom, I saw this sort of slightly strange looking toilet. It was like a throne almost. And anyway, I got to understand that this was a Japanese toilet, and apparently the Japanese take their toilets very seriously, I've discovered since. And the moment I sat on this thing, and forgive me for talking about toilet matters, but I can't really tell you about this without doing so. As soon as I sat on this thing, I think this is like a great experience. It's like sort of visiting the spa for my bottom. So first of all, as soon as you sit down, the seat's warm, which is lovely. But then I discovered all these sort of things where that you could get sprays to do all kinds of cleaning things. It's sort of almost like a car wash for your bottom. And I've always had this sort of thing. It must be something to do with, I don't know, the way my parents brought me up or something. It was always sort of a very important thing in my life from being a small boy to have a pristine bottom, after doing number twos, particularly. And so I've sort of, I remember my mother got a bidet, sort of, and I thought, well, what's that strange thing you've added to your bathroom? But I never got on with bidets. I just found, I mean, all they do is sort of squirt. It's a sort of upside down shower, isn't it, for your bottom? And it just didn't. It was just I didn't. Sitting on it is a bit uncomfortable. It doesn't have a proper seat, and I thought, well, don't really see the point of this thing. And then on a Greek holiday, I discovered those things, for the first time, those things, where they have a sort of hand spray type thing by the toilet, which you're supposed to use for cleaning that area. And I thought, well, how's that supposed to work? I mean, if you stand there spraying up your bottom, I mean, the water and bits that get moved by the water are going to go all over the place. So I never thought that was a great idea. So it seems so obvious, really, to combine a toilet and cleaning thing into one unit, so you don't have to have 2 units in the bathroom. And the Japanese just do this. I don't know if there's only this one company, but I'm sure there isn't. But every hotel suite in the Shangri-La Hotel has one of these Toto, Toto, toilets. I assume that's how it's pronounced, Toto. And they I think, are the Rolls Royce, if you like, of Japanese toilets, as far as I can understand. And it was just such a great experience for the 2 nights that we were there. And let me say this, that as you know, Christine and I are both vegans, and this is going to also be a little bit crude to tell you this, but vegans, when you're vegan, when you eat only plant-based food, you get an enormous amount of fibre in your diet, which is a really good thing health-wise, really good. And it's completely sort of transformed that side of how my body works. And you have to go a lot, let's put it that way, a lot. And that's a healthy thing. But obviously, when you have to go that much, having something, an appliance like this, which can really make the whole thing, a really, let's say 5-star, I would say 7-star experience. It's a good thing to have. So, as a result of these 2 nights using this thing, never used one before, never seen one before, I knew I had to get one. Just had to. Christine thought I was completely balmy, because these things are not cheap. But I thought, well, the amount of times you have to use the toilet, and how sort of big factor that is in your life, well, my life anyway, I thought, I think this is, definitely think this is worth it. Definitely. So researched, obviously came back, researched the Toto company, and they have a local installers, suppliers, found this company through the Toto site called Oxford Bathrooms, who obviously based in Oxford. That was the nearest to us. I could have got one from Evesham, from some supplier in Evesham, but they wouldn't install it, and I wasn't interested in that because the installation is very important. It has to be done properly. I can't do that kind of thing. I don't know a builder, who's had the experience of ever putting in one of these things, and I wanted one put in by people who really knew what they were doing. So, and I would say, big shout out. First of all, big shout out to Toto, brilliant company, and I'll say a bit more about that later. But big shout out to Oxford Bathrooms because they did a really great job of installing this thing, and yeah, we couldn't be happier. So let me tell you a little bit about it. So first of all, the ones that are in the Shangri-La Hotel, although brilliant, they are a bit on the old side. And so the one that we've got here now is a bit more modern, and it has a remote control. That was one of the things. The one in there sort of had buttons on the toilet, on the appliance itself, to do various things that you want it to do. But there's now a remote, which is very, very handy. And a bit like TV remote, really, but it does obviously quite different things. So there's a setting, there's sort of basic setting which that has an icon that looks like a bottom. You press that and it does a sort of initial thing, and then there's the really, really good device, which the one in London didn't have, a wand. So it's a wand type thing. When you press this button, it comes out and it makes sure that the whole sort of line, the crack, if you like, is completely squirted with pulsating water. It's warm water as well, by the way. It warms the water. So you've got a warm toilet seat, you've got warm water doing its thing. And there are various settings. There's including a feminine setting for the ladies who have obviously slightly different equipment. So it caters for that too. Now, the one in London did do a couple of things that mine doesn't, because I didn't want to overcomplicate it, nor did I want to spend more than we needed to spend. It was enough money as it was. So the one in London did offer you a drying, like at a car wash, the automatic car washes that used to, because it's all hand washing now, isn't it, nowadays, but that used to dry the car. This will dry your derriere. And the other setting that it had was it would deodorize, so that automatically after every use, it would deodorize the bathroom, make it smell nice. So I didn't do any of those things, either of those things, because I didn't think, I haven't found that drying is necessary. And you can buy a spray, can't you? Or one of these other things with sticks in it or whatever to make the bathroom smell nice. And it's a lot cheaper. Toto have been brilliant. Nothing's ever gone wrong with it since we've had it. Wait a minute, before I go on to that, was there anything else that I can tell you about it? Well, the other thing is you hardly need toilet paper at all, and I used to use wipes a lot because as you know, I'm obsessed about that, getting that area clean. So it doesn't completely eliminate, because you can use the toilet paper to do a little bit of drying, but you don't really need it for much else. Maybe, and certainly if you do need it, it's very, very much reduced amount, which obviously that's good for the environment. And it also is good for not causing blockages, which can happen, obviously. Warm, I've told you about, it warms the seat, which is lovely, particularly in cold weather. It has an economy setting, so it sort of learns when you what times you're likely to use it and what times you're not likely to use it. So it doesn't heat the seat when it's not expecting you. which is really good. It also has the economy setting also means that it reduces um, the power drain, the power use as much as possible. So we always keep it on that. By the way, Christine has become a bit of a convert. She doesn't use it like I do all the time, every day. But if she has a particularly sort of stomach issue or something like that, she loves it. So and I've all told her she's very, very welcome to use it as much as she likes. But she's not clearly as obsessed about of this matter as I am. The other thing that it does is when you sit on the toilet. And I'm a man who sits down, and I learnt that from boating, actually. That if boats rock, don't they? When they're on the water, obviously. And it can cause a mess if the boat is rocking and you're up in the middle of the night, maybe, and you're trying to aim at this, because boat toilets are a bit unuser friendly anyway, but you're trying to aim and not make a mess. Sitting I found that the way to cure that is to always sit down. It's a much better and I think cleaner way to do number one. Why the hell was I telling you that? I can't remember now. Oh yes, as soon as you sit on the toilet, it does this sort of preparation by coating the bowl of the toilet in what they call e-water, I think it is, which is electronically treated water. And that by doing that, obviously, it protects the fabric of the layer of the bowl, and keeps it always fresh and clean. So before you, as you sit down, it obviously knows you're there. It does this preparation, and then when you get up, it does it again, so that it sort of does a quick flush. And the wand thing that comes out, it cleans that every time as well. So you don't have to clean it, well, you don't have to clean these functioning bits, which is really, really, really useful. I had some questions at the beginning to ask Toto about, looking after it and anything. There is a filter that you're supposed to wash out, and just rinse under the tap once a month. But actually, I found it never needs cleaning. So it might be to do with the fact that we've got filtered water and a water softener. I don't know, but I do it periodically, but not once a month. That's for sure. Nothing really else that you do that you wouldn't do with an ordinary toilet. But I did have some questions, like about the filter cleaning, and they were really, really brilliant and responsive. And I can't really praise the company enough. But by the way, it's called a Toto Washlet, not a toilet, but a washlet. So that sort of makes sense. I can't praise the company and the product enough. It's really, really, it's really been great, as you can probably tell. I'm sort of thoroughly impressed with it. And it's quite interesting when we show people who haven't seen our house before, that the thing they always want to see: can we see your Japanese toilet? Which is sort of not something I was expecting from guests, and some of them actually say, "Well, can I try it?" So I can understand their fascination with it, because I was certainly fascinated from the very first time that I went into the bathroom at the Shangri-La Hotel. So that's my review, if you like. My review on the Toto Japanese washlet toilet. And if anybody is as weird as me and out there amongst our listeners and wants to know more about it, and or has any questions on it, I can tell you it really has. I know I'm a saddie, but it really has changed my life and actually, when we go on holiday now, I really miss it. Really, really miss it. Every other, bog standard toilet just seems so disappointing compared with this experience. So obviously I've become a big advocate for the Toto Washlet and for Oxford bathrooms. And believe me, I get nothing from them by way of, commission or anything like that. And I'm very happy, when you find a product like our Tesla car, when I find a product that is really so great, I just want to tell everyone about it. And I'm pleased to have had this opportunity to share this information with you. But as I say, if you have any questions or any feedback, if you have a different view, don't hesitate to get in touch by the usual methods. We have a Facebook page of the same name, Refinement Not Retirement. A good place to message us directly. Not, a lot of people prefer to message us sort of privately. If you want to make a public comment, that's the best place to do it. And we read everything. So that's all for now, and look forward to our next episode, when, as you know, will be about our first year of not working and how we both feel about that. Looking forward to getting back on the microphone with Christine and chatting with her and with you about that subject. But otherwise, for now, it's goodbye from just me. Bye for now. See you next time.